Now, I woke up this morning, and even before drinking my coffee, I noticed that the most cringe thing on television is trending on Twitter. And there's millions of people, and everybody hates it. Like, everybody. It's kind of weird to see left-leaning people and right-wing people agree about something on Twitter, like on social media. But this time it actually happened. So I'm like, well, how cringe could it be? I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff, right? Like, it's 2025. We already experienced the time gap between 2014 all the way up till now. So, like, I've seen a lot of cringe. And the question is, like, can this be more cringe than what I have seen up until now? And the answer is yes. I would compare it to the Law and Order episode about gamers. Now, I can't actually play it to you because if I do, I would get a copyright strike. But we do have a work around it. I can just show pictures with the dialogue attached, and I think that would be enough. And I also think you guys should thank me because I'm saving you a part of the cringe. Again, if you want to see this, it's probably on Twitter because it is trending. So this takes place in a hospital, right? And you have this guy coming out of the room. Now I don't know who these characters are. I don't know anything outside the scene. And apparently that's all I need to know. The guy is saying that the son, he's doing okay. Now they have this test which comes from Harvard, which means that it's infallible because it comes from Harvard. Like if something is false, if it's blatantly false or fake or not true, but it goes through Harvard, it just becomes true. So the test is called Unrest, and it's designed to measure someone's level of social resistance. My goodness, like look at how good these social engineers have become. They even have tests that can measure someone's level of social resistance. Like if you put this test on I guess like a leftist Antifa member, the test just explodes. Like the measurement goes off the charts. Is this how it works? But anyway, right, so they have this test and the lady asks like social resistance when people like us oppose the views and values of the dominant culture. Like, you need to understand, this is actually the TV show. Like, I'm not just parodizing. I'm not just, like, putting random subtitles, like, those meme videos with Hitler throwing everyone out of the room in the bunker. No. Like this is actually in the... Like, someone actually wrote this, okay? And I never understand the expression, like, people like us. Like, well, like, Democrats, Americans, like, what exactly does it mean? I keep hearing it, like we don't have an equivalent in Romanian. Like maybe someone in the comment section can help me out and explain to me what does people like us mean, because it's so fucking weird. I keep seeing it in TV shows, but there's no equivalent here in Eastern Europe for people like us. The expression, I mean. And apparently, he expresses that your son feels threatened on a daily basis. And I'm like, holy shit, well, I mean, call the child social service, right? Like, I mean, if that's the case. But anyway, like, everything he's earned can be taken away. He's disenfranchised. All right. But because his life is seemingly free, all this, because he can't name it, is internalized it. So I love how these two characters are just completing each other's sentences now. Like they're part of the same hive mind. Again, like is this what it means when they use the expression, like, people like us? It's, the same mindset, like, the same ideas to the point where you can just complete each other's sentences. So he can't name what? Racism. I think your son's tumor is caused by racism. I'm not kidding, okay? This is actually in the TV show. I have to keep repeating this because if you were to show this 7 years ago, people would say it's parody. Like people would say that you're mocking the show. No, listen. The writers themselves, under no duress, under no constraint, actually put this on a piece of paper. It's so bad that even the actors, right? Even the actors look absolutely baffled by the script. I am willing to bet that these lovely actresses, like, they had to bite their lower lip during this scene, not to just burst out in laughter. Like they had to show a phenomenal level of self-control, not to just burst in laughter on the set. In fact, they may have. They may very well have, and we don't know. Like, this could be take 245 because that's how many it needed until it got to the scene where they're all serious and poker face while reading the script. And obviously, the media, this is from 2020, right? Like, New Amsterdam tackles the health risk that comes from racism, right? So the media emboldened this. They're playing a part into this garbage writing. They were like, oh, the media likes it. Let's dial up to 11. And you went into whatever this is. A couple of observations, right? So why are people upset? Because many people on Twitter are saying, well, it's fiction. It's fiction, right? So, like, why are you upset? Well, precisely because it's fiction. A lot of people just want to relax, okay? Like, the presidential election is going. We know the Democrats' own platform. Like, we are aware of the Democrats' arguments. Why do you have to put them in fiction as well? Like, why can't we have some escapism? Like, I know what Nancy Pelosi thinks, right? I know what Joe Biden thinks. I already listened to them. And like, people have already made up their mind. And now you just use these characters from a TV show as if they're VTubers in order to keep sock puppeting the talking points. Like, none of this is natural. None of this makes sense. But you want people to hear it, and you're trying to put it into their homes by sneaking it outside of CNN, by sneaking it outside the MSNBC, and putting it into their entertainment. And the thing is, like, the director from The Last of Us TV show explains it very well. He basically states he knows the audience doesn't want to listen to it. Like, he knows that the audience isn't interested, but it has to sneak it like a mother does with the carrot inside a brownie. So in this analogy, the kid doesn't want to eat the veggies. He's not interested, but the mother thinks it's healthy for him. So she wants to force him to eat them. So she takes something that the kid likes, which is the brownie, and puts the carrot inside the brownie, making the brownie taste bad in order to try and force the kid to eat the carrot. So obviously this is something that most people hated when their parents did. If your parents did any of these things, like, I'm sorry, I know your pain. I genuinely understand it. It's horrible. And it ruins the brownie as well. Like, that's the thing. It's literally what they're doing with TV shows. Like, they know that the public has already heard these talking points. Like, we already know what they think. And the talking points are just like something we want to get away from, but they have to insert it into entertainment. And apparently, from what I understood from the fans of the show, season 1 was great. It's like, oh, that's the brownie. And then from season 2, you get all of this madness being pushed in. So this is why people dislike it. And it's like, oh, well, it's fiction. Yeah, but like, usually, most people, at least before 2014, when they saw a TV show with a hospital, like, they would assume that the scriptwriters did some basic research in order to learn a little bit about the science, in order to learn a little bit about how things operate in a hospital, so that when they put it on the screen, it has some resemblance on reality. It has some level of immersion. So some people may end up thinking that, yeah, like, there is such a test from Harvard that actually does measure the level of unrest. And I, you know what? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there is. I mean, again, everything that, like the left believes that politicians can be corrupt. They believe that police officers can be corrupt, but they don't believe that someone working at Harvard can be corrupt. Even though, like, the scandal with the chief university professor at Harvard, was that the one, right, with plagiarism, right? Like, that happened. How did it happen? Like, no one asked the follow-up question, like, how does it happen? Because all the people around them had to know, or were actually ignorant and dumb enough not to figure out that, well, the PhD that got the person up there was plagiarized. And all you gotta do is to put it through a computer program, and it actually tells you. Like, it's so easy. There's students get kicked out of the university for plagiarism. Like this is actually something horrible that you can do in the world of the universities. But for some reason, right, no one knew. There's no corruption at Harvard, just not whatsoever. Everything that comes from Harvard is not politically motivated, doesn't have, like, any agenda. Like, nope, it's the university, right? So if it's from Harvard and they came up with a test that measures the thetan levels, it must be true. Actually, you know what? It reminds me, like, this is based on a real event. Hold on, like, they did their research. But they did their research into social justice, not actual medicine. So there was a time period when, again, like, you had all these grifting consultants that had to come into companies and say, hey, you know what? If you want no racism in your company, you need to hire us and pay us a lot of money. So companies were like, shit, fuck, okay. I mean, you know, but are we racist though? Like, we never no, we don't do racism here. And it's like, no, you actually do. Look, even though you don't think you're a racist, you actually are, because there's this thing called implicit bias, right? So if you have implicit bias, it means that you're racist at a subconscious level, and even you don't know it. And it's like, okay, so if there's something that even I don't know that it exists, how do you know that I have it? Like, even I, in my own mind, I'm not aware of it, but you say it exists? Well, yeah, we actually have this test, and it was like this really bizarre test where you had like a computer program and it showed you various pictures, and it was like, you see the picture on the monitor and you have to press A if it's good, B if it's bad, right? So like it would be a picture of a bunny and you click A, good. You have a picture of a theft and you click B, bad, right? And you have like these pictures popping up on the monitor and you have to constantly click A, B, A, B. And then it shows you white people and black people, and you have to click A for white people and B for black people. And based on like how you click it and how you associate it, they try to describe if you got implicit bias or not. And the interesting part is, like, even the inventors of the test, they say that it's not conclusive. And yet that test was actually used by consultants at various companies to prove it's like, oh, see, you must be a racist because you failed the test. So, this is what it references to, right? Like a test that actually can see the level of implicit shit that goes into your brain that even you yourself don't know it. And it's also like the idea that, like, if you're against the dominant culture, you get brain cancer, according to this TV show. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but like the entire left-leaning ideology was and still is against the majority of the dominant culture. And actually, that's healthy in a democracy. Like, how would you even change culture in a democracy if the moment you're against it, you get a brain tumor? Like, this is what the writers of the show are trying to suggest. So, like, during the civil rights movement, what are you saying? You know, like, can we have this show take us back in time so we can see what the writers thought about that? Because it's quite concerning, isn't it? But anyway, let me know what you guys think, and take into account there's a link into my comment section. It will take you all the way to my live stream channel. I do live stream every day, and I also make This Week is Stupid every week, so only on my live stream channel. Do subscribe to it. I'll see you guys there. Take care.